ago, we were plumbing a dental office. So in our Trade Winds group, one of the guys in our Trade Winds group was asking for advice about how to bid out a dental office.
Okay. I was wondering where you were going with this. I was like, what is he talking about?
And so I'm like, oh, that reminds me. There's a funny story with a dental office I should tell on the podcast.
Okay. I'm listening. Now, you've piqued my interest, sir.
We plumbed a dental office years ago. And dental offices are kind of interesting with plumbing because you have all this piping that goes underneath every chair, every dental chair.
Yes.
You got like a water line, you got a suction line, you've got an air line to run their pneumatic tools and all of this stuff. And every dental office is a little bit different depending on the equipment that they have back in the equipment room. Sometimes their vacuum assembly takes air from the room. Sometimes they want their vacuum assembly connected to a vent that goes up and out the roof. The same with their air compressor. Their air compressor might take air from the room, or it wants to be connected to a vent out the roof, right? And our contract with this dental office was we did all of the plumbing, but the equipment providers set all the equipment. And so we get this call from the dental office a couple of months later.
When is this? Can I ask? This is like 5 years ago, 2 years ago?
Nah, this would have been 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay.
And so we get this call from the dental office about 3 months after we did all the plumbing in it. And the call was sewer smell all throughout the building. And they couldn't locate it. They couldn't source it. And we checked all the bathrooms, and the bathrooms are on one end, and they've got sewer smell on the other ends and all of this stuff. And there's a lab sink in every office, so there was a ton of opportunities for broken sewer lines or broken vent lines.
Yeah.
And so we start looking, and we can't find it. We're doing all these smoke tests, and we can't find it. We can't find it. And we're smoke testing this building so hard that the fire department got called because smoke was coming out of a manhole in the parking lot. And so we're like, ooh, that's bad, right?
I know. I know. You know what? I'm going to write down what the problem was.
Okay.
And we're going to see if I'm right.
So
I'm writing it down.
We can't find smoke anywhere. It's not showing up anywhere. We're like, man, this building is locked tight, right? Well, then we're waiting for like confirmation from the GC, the building GC. We were in a funny transition because the building GC that handled construction was like trying to hand the building off to the maintenance guy for the dental office. And so it was like, is this a maintenance issue or is this a new construction issue? So we're waiting for confirmation, and we're sitting in one of their end dental units that's not working. And so
you're just hanging out.
I'm curious as all get out, and I got the attention span of a 4-year-old, so I'm playing with the pneumatic tools at the dental chair.
Yes, you do.
And so I'm like playing with her drills and shit.
Yeah.
Sure enough, I start smelling sewer smell, and I'm like, what the hell? So I start smelling the pneumatic tool, and every time I hit the button, it smells like sewer.
Did you taste it?
What the heck? No. So I go back into the mechanical room, and I start tracking down the vents through the roof.
Yeah.
And they connected the air intake for the pneumatic. This wasn't us. This was the equipment installer. They connected the air intake for the pneumatic tools to the sewer vents. And so for 3 months, every customer that they had in those chairs, they were pumping sewer gas into those customers' mouths.
That's awful.
Man.
I wrote down intake line next to vent.
Yeah.
Like that's close, but dude, like literally took
can you imagine?
That's bad.
Yeah.
Do you think those customers were like, what does taste funny?
Let's just hope the nitrous was cranked up. I don't know, because
That was my next question. Can you get me some nitrogen or can you get me some gas? I wrote
nitrous
down,
oxide.
Can you get me some gas? That's all I wrote on my sheet.
Yeah.
Do you know somebody?
No.
You are such a loser.
No. So we did have a customer that was a dentist, and he would always talk about
gross, bro.
he and his buddies would go camping, and his buddies, like, it would be like, John, you bring the weed. Clark, you bring the nitrous. And they would sit around the campfire and get high on nitrous because the dentist would just bring it from the office.
What are you guys doing?
I don't know.
Don't worry about it, bro. You want some?
We're high 2 ways. We don't know which way.
God.
Yeah. So, dentist office fun, I guess.
So the dentist I've been going to for the last, it's got to be 15 years. They don't even do gas.
Yeah.
Like they don't relax you anymore.
Well, so
Like,
insurance doesn't cover it anymore. So now you have to pay for it out of pocket.
I'll pay.
Yeah.
Get the goddamn gas.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
it's amazing.
Yes.
I went and got my wisdom.
Well, I'm saying, like,
Austin's like, yes.
Mr. Never drinks or does smokes nothing.
Austin.
Yes, I would love.
No, I say that
I would
because
love the gas, please. Can I have some more gas?
I think I have a cavity.
no, I say
I
that
think I have a
because
cavity.
my wife, she had a friend at one point that she didn't actually, she wanted to save money, so she didn't choose to get knocked out, and she just wanted to be opened up and like just completely conscious to save just a few $100s. I'm like,
Nope.
Give me the gas, baby.
Not.
Give me. You know what
happening.
the best stuff is? So, like, if you ever have a procedure, like if you have an upper scope,
Right.
or I haven't had what's the one where they go in your butt again?
Colonoscopy.
If you have a colon, I haven't had one yet, but what they give you is that white stuff that Michael Jackson OD'd on. Like, it's
Propofol.
yes, that stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, when they give it to me, like, I've had 2 scopes, and they're like, "Oh, you'll be 2 seconds." Like, it takes usually like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
But like the whole minute and a half, like, I'm just like, it's amazing. Like, you just feel free,
So
carefree, and then you're out. You're only out for like, say you're out for 20 minutes. You wake up, you feel like you've slept for 8 hours.
yeah.
Like, you wake up, like, you're a little groggy for a while, and you're like, do you know how fucking great I feel right now?
Yeah.
Like, I've told both doctors, I was like, dude, seriously, like, if you could give me some of that. And he's like, dude, it's super illegal. Like, no, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, just put some in my pocket.
I
It's
think
fucking awesome.
I think it was last year.
Oh my, it's
I had
so great. Sleep like a baby.
I think it was early last
20
year.
minutes.
I had a wisdom tooth. All of a sudden, decided to start moving around and causing me boatloads of pain.
Was that last year?
Maybe it was 2 years
I
ago.
think it was 2 years ago.
It was. Yeah, it had to be closer
It was
to COVID
right when we
because
started this.
Yeah, it was. It had to be
Nothing
closer to
about
COVID because getting in and scheduling
Was a
like dental
bitch.
offices
Yeah.
had just opened back up.
And you walked around like this for a while.
Oh, man.
Normal Mitch Dick and mouth syndrome.
Yeah.
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 I remember.
That's just what I do.
No, you looked like shit. Like,
Well,
it looked painful.
So they give me the medicine, and I'm sitting in the dental chair, and then literally like it felt like one blink later,
You're awake.
I'm in the chair next to the dental
Yeah.
chair, and I'm asking the doctor, I'm like, does she need to leave? And it's my wife. I'm like, does she need to leave before we get started? And the doctor's like,
Dude, we're done, bro.
we're done. And I'm like, oh, I didn't recognize as my wife. I just saw that it was a strange
Dude,
person.
that stuff is good shit, man.
I'm like, she looks good.
Of course you were.
I'm like,
Of course you did.
I'm hitting on her.
Hey, girl, don't tell my wife, but you want to do some banging?
I was worried a little bit whenever I got my wisdom piece pulled out because I saw the drip and I'm like, I thought that was when it's gonna knock me out, and I realized I'm like, I'm not feeling unconscious. Like, don't
No.
start anything.
No, yeah, it's
No,
not
that's
And
just
then-
the IV.
And
Yeah.
then the lady told me like, okay, we're gonna start now, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the good stuff, and that's all I remember.
Yeah.
I think maybe because I don't do drugs or anything like that. Like
Oh,
maybe
yeah, you were
it,
out.
it
Like,
really
it took
hit
me
me.
a while, yeah.
Yeah, I was in the car. The first
yeah,
thing I
they
remember
do the
doing.
IV in your hand, and then like it's, you know, they have the regular IV, and then they inject it like into the actual thing that's like over here on your sidearm, you
Right.
know, and it's like you can feel it. It's just real warm, just
Like-
working up your arm and works around. She's like, you're gonna feel tingly, and I was like, I feel tingly. I feel fantastic.
Dude, like the room they put me out in it looked like a scene out of Saw 5. Like I was kind of worried.
Oh,
like
yeah.
there was no windows and there were just like the little beep, beep.
No, you're about to be
I'm
raped.
like, is this a little like,
Raped
is this
hard.
how my life
Yeah.
ends right here?
Did your butt hurt when you woke up?
No, like
Okay, good.
The
Good.
only
You went to a good doctor.
rinsing and spitting like there's no
the-
tomorrow.
the only thing that I suffered with was I had insane hiccups to the point
After?
where I just
Yeah.
couldn't stop, and I was like,
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be annoyed about hiccuping,
Yeah,
but I just couldn't breathe.
yeah, it's awful.
There's
I hate when
a,
I've had those before, not from that, but I
There's-
love, dude, that white shit. So
There's a
good.
viral video out there of this guy, and he's self-proclaimed like former drug user, and the dentist is getting ready to knock him out to do some procedures, and the guy's like, "You're not going to be able to knock me out. I've done so many drugs,
It
like
has
my
to be
tolerance
fake
is
as well.
high, right?"
Has to be fake.
And so the dentist is like, "We always win."
Yeah,
And so the kid brings out a cell phone and he's filming it, and he's like, "You ain't gonna be able to knock me out," and he films this whole thing. So the dentist gives him a whole bunch of drugs, and the guy's like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling high, but you ain't knocking me out, you know." And
That's
the dentist is
fake.
like, "Hey, you're a little stronger than I thought." And so the dentist gives him a little bit more, and that's all it takes. And all
Yeah.
of a sudden, the guy's filming himself with a selfie, right? And then all of a sudden, the camera tips backwards and
Yeah.
goes straight to the ceiling, and everything
Done.
goes quiet.
Done.
And the dentist is like, "Ha ha," you know. About 5 seconds later, all of a sudden the phone moves, goes right back to his face, and he goes, "Thought you had me, didn't you?" And the dentist like squeezes the syringe a little bit more and just puts him all the way out. It's like, man, that guy's fighting
See,
it
that
hard.
would be kind of fun. Like that would be like it'd be a fun day to work as a dental op or whatever.
Dude, they're just those people that my wife works in healthcare. Those people are crazy.
Yeah.
They love it. They get off on it.
Yeah.
They're nuts.
Well,
They're
and
bat crap crazy.
if you're ever accompanying somebody that's coming out of anesthesia, you owe it to the world to film them and to fuck with them. Like, have you seen the video of the girl that's coming out of anesthesia?
And they tell her that there's a zombie apocalypse.
Yes, the dad and the son collaborate and convince the girl that there's a zombie apocalypse.
The best part is he's like, we got to go to Costco.
We got to get the guns.
We got to go to Costco and get supplies. And she's like, it's going to be a bloodbath. Like, she's freaking out.
They stop by the house and they grab all the guns and put them in the back of the car. And she's just like, oh my gosh, hurry. You know,
She's like 25 years old. It's funny every time I watch it.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. Like, and they say like everyone's different, you know, like when I woke up, I was just like myself.
Yeah.
Like no big deal. But some people, you're right. It takes them like 3 hours for that shit to wear off.
So yeah,
like it has like, obviously it's metabolism and how you react and all that kind of fun stuff. Thank God. I have a lot of secrets.
Yeah.
Like my greatest fear was like I come out and then I start talking a lot of shit about a lot of people and giving up a lot you I shouldn't be.
Your wife is driving you home and you're like, oh, Rosemary.
Yeah.
Dude, hi, Emily. Yeah.
Dude, thank you. That's funny as fuck. Like the first time, I will say, like I woke up and I remember this, but Ray, this really good friend of mine, I actually talked about him in the Monday Motivational the other day, worked with my wife and he came in and apparently I like tried to jump out of bed and hug him. Like I gave him a hug and I was like, Ray, you're so awesome. But like it was over in like 2 seconds.
Yep.
And then the last time I did it, I woke up and the nurse is sitting there. I'm like, hey, how's it going? She's like, well, the doctor's going to come in. I was like, okay. And then that was it. Like I was totally normal.
Yeah.
Like, but the people that it's 3-4 hours, like, dude,
well,
that's gotta be a trip.
When I had mine 2 years ago, I remember waking up in the chair next to me and being confused about who was the girl in the room and then saying she's pretty good looking. I remember all that.
God, thank God you didn't say, get this fucking ass clown out of here or something stupid.
I still didn't recognize it was my wife.
God,
and
who's
literally
who's the fat girl in the corner? You know, something stupid like that.
Well, then
Not that Danielle is fat. I'm just saying, like, something.
You say something crazy.
Say something stupid, thank God.
Well, the very next memory I have
She'd
would have been
killed
about
you.
40 minutes later. We were on our drive home and almost home.
Oh, shit. So it took you an hour.
So it took me a while to come. Now I do remember when we came, like we were driving down Adams Dairy Parkway, and it was exactly like you described. Like all of a sudden, I'm aware.
And you're fine.
And I know where I'm at, and I know what I've been through.
Yeah.
And all of that. But before that, I was really confused.
Dude, so she failed us. Like
Yeah,
she should have been
been
filming and grilling the shit out of you.
Yep.
That's what she should have been doing.
Well,
next
to
time,
her defense, this was still during all the COVID times where it was
true.
like
That's
literally dentist office had just opened back up.
I'm still disappointed.
I had to pull favors to even get a spot because I was being told it was going to be 3 months before they could work on me.
You just walk in there and go, look at my mouth, you
and I'm like, I
motherfuckers.
can't wait 3 months.
Yeah. Go, like, pull this mother.
Yeah.
You should have just called me. We could have cut that thing out of there.
Get a ice skate and a rock.
Dude, I was
Cast away that son of a gun.
I was thinking a couple Oxycontin and a, razor
whatever.
blade.
Let's
We
do it.
got that thing out of there.